Welcome everybody to 3 Beards of Wrestling podcast. Oh wow, we finally all stayed in the same spots. That's about right.
I feel like that intro needs like a coming every Monday night at 7 p.m. It needs. I'll work on it.
Definitely.
That's my homework.
But anyways, guys. Oh, whoa. I don't know what just happened there. Anyways,
Ricky did it. Ricky did it.
Yeah, Ricky did it. All right. Well, anyways, I'm your host Shane. Across from me is Brian Haran, or General Kiesel. Below him is Ricky, and then now below me, since we all had to stay in our spots, and then he fucked it up. That is Adrian.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Oh man,
Cameron. Hello, Justin. Hello, Jason. Holy Jade. Oh my God, everyone's messing up.
It's all the J's. So
yeah, probably. Wait a minute.
No, Brian's messing up. Oh my God. I guess this is what happens when you don't have a guest.
I mean, it does happen. It does happen. Why is there a big pause button in front of his face? Okay, there we go. We can see you now.
For me?
Yeah. There's a big pause.
I couldn't hear anything. That's when I was like, huh? What did you say?
So, on our agenda coming up, Brian Haran, September 30th, will be at the Scotland Community Center.
For New Revolution.
Hell yeah. If you guys can tune into the Bartender's Jukebox podcast, it's one of our trainee Mark's podcasts. He's on Spotify,
iHeartRadio,
yeah, that's about right. And next up on my schedule is October 7th at the Marysville Lions Club.
Doc Williams.
What happened? It is a celebration show for Doc Williams. Those of you who don't know, he was our doctor ringside at all the shows. Very, very cool dude. And following that, October 21st, I will be in Manchester at PPCW, where I believe I'm taking on Aaron Truth again.
Ooh, nice.
I mean, yeah. So hopefully, yeah. And then I feel like there's other shows I'm missing, but I cannot remember right now.
It happens.
Yes, I'm back from the beach already, sadly.
What's going on, Star?
As you guys see, we do not have a guest this week.
It was just us talking.
But we will put it out here now. Next week, on Monday, we will have one of the Samoans, Alpha Jr., on this podcast, 7 p.m. So that's definitely going to be good. I definitely can't wait for that one. I don't know where Brian went.
He left us. He went for milk and cigarettes. He should be back.
Of course, as soon as I say something, now he's back.
Oh.
You know when you hit your computer and you say, like, I'll do that update later, and it was like, no, you're doing the update right now. So, anyway.
Listen, if everyone just wanted to be in different positions on the screen, I would have just switched.
Oh, it was easier that way?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm in my right position.
So, Brian, we went over the shows and everything. Do you have any other shows coming up before we move on from there?
Sorry. So, which ones did you go over? Obviously, the Doc Memorial.
The Doc Memorial.
Show, that's the big one.
Yeah, the SSW show.
SSW. SWO's got a show coming up October 21st.
There we go.
Right.
So this is the time of year that like wrestling
really
thrives. Like you get June, you get like a show here and there. July, a show here and there. Man, once it hits September, it is like ball rolling.
It's off to the races.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. So definitely, if you're a wrestling fan, you're or even thinking about it, there are so many places to go and check a show out.
Right.
So definitely hit one up. So yeah.
So I was gonna make like very, very, very last minute decision. I'm talking about like
5
Friday,
minutes before getting home.
like a Friday decision to go to Texas last weekend and wrestle.
Oh geez.
But plane tickets were like too much money. I was like,
For
Oh.
what company?
I forget. Somebody was hooking me up with it. It was like a big tournament they had. But
Oh.
I do have to say there is possibly a lot in the works of me traveling to a lot of other places.
That's good.
Yeah.
The Japanese sensation,
Mr. Ping in Texas, Mr. Ping in Florida.
Mr. Ping in Texas. Can Mr. Ping even say Texas?
We can talk all of this off the air, but Connecticut, Kentucky, all kinds of places.
Oh, you'll be on near me. Oh, okay.
Ohio. There's a lot of places that will possibly be filling my schedule up here very shortly.
World tour?
Nice.
So world tour, I'm not that big.
Yeah, not yet, big dog, not yet.
I mean, my stomach might be as big as the world, but not I don't think I'm that big.
Listen,
that's
everybody's in shape. Rounds of shape.
Look. Hey, we don't fat shame on this show.
Just saying.
All right. Let's see here. Big stick, Ricky. I think you meant big.
Big forehead Ricky is what he was trying to say.
Yeah. First of all, you
Can
can't
we-
see my forehead that much. My hair is covering it. All right.
Yeah. He wasn't saying no innuendos to your penis. He was saying big forehead Ricky.
What?
What? My sound's going out. Sorry.
Yeah, no. So was mine. Is going in and out. I heard big sticky
Forehead.
penis.
Yeah,
And
that's
I didn't know if that's what I heard. Is that, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, there used to be this indie sensation that like used to go around. He was only on a couple of shows and stuff like that too. I don't know if you know him. It was like he looked like chocolate poop.
I've
Looked
heard that
Looked
guy.
like the poop emoji.
I've heard of that guy. I have not seen him in forever.
Legend has it he might make a return.
I heard that. I heard that. I definitely heard that.
That's what I read on the sheets. It's what I read on the dirt sheets.
Yeah.
Hey, that is hilarious.
The chatterbox is kicking in saying that we gonna see some shit. Literally.
Fuck. I was trying to find his gear on Lucha Click.
So you got all these shows coming up and stuff like that too. So we talked about, all right, so since we're on the topic, we chose the topic of gimmicks.
Right.
Let's I mean, some of us have done a couple different gimmicks and stuff like that too, but
what's the worst?
Yeah, some have been a little bad. Some are in the bottom of gear bags.
So
we
don't talk about.
I'll pick Adrian first. When you think of a gimmick and you want to start a new gimmick, where do you go to with the drawing book? Like where do you go to?
Oh, like inspiration for a new. It all depends on what I want to do. If I'm thinking about, I'm thinking about aesthetics. I'm thinking about like what's hot. You always see a lot of people who kind of wear the same colors. Black and red seems to be like the indie color of wrestling. Like, I mean, the color of indie wrestling. So,
Guilty.
Yeah. So
Brown.
what I want to do, what I always do, is always kind of look away or try to stay away from that. I think about the psychology of the gimmick that I want to do, how the guy moves, how the guy works. Heel face persona. Like I deep dive move set, backstory, everything. Me, I'm a huge horror movie buff. So if you guys have seen me wrestle, Prince Shango is derived from horror movies. It's fear. He's a monster. He's very slow.
Wait,
very
you're Prince Shango?
Yeah, I heard that. It's very methodical. Adrian Starr is just me, just turned up to like 100. Very charismatic, very quick moving, showing off some of my athletic stuff. And then you got,
I probably won't be wrestling by the time he wrestles, to be honest.
He'll still be wrestling. Don't let him lie to you, because he'll be like, I'm done, and then the show will pop up, and then he'll be like, all right, okay, just one more. Just one more. Let's do one
It's
more.
always gonna be
One
just that
last
one
run,
more.
brother.
One more turns into like 150 more, and then I'm dead.
Exactly, because we had the same infamous conversation. Well, I don't think I'm working every weekend. Hey guys, I almost flew to Texas.
Listen, if the flight tickets weren't like $800, I would have been there.
Yeah, exactly. So,
But
He'll
it's
still be
and
wrestling.
it's those things too, like when you're going through and you're deriving a new character, a new gimmick, and that too. Like you gotta believe in it. You gotta you have to like it and enjoy it. Otherwise, like that party animal.
Yeah.
It was a good start for me. It was a good way to go through and start off. But I think definitely like going through and having those hard talks with people that are like, it's not you, it's not your personality kind of thing. So
The party
yeah.
animal should have never died.
No.
It should still be around today.
Listen, there's Halloween shows. There's there's other shows that you gotta try it out and everything too. So
I will have to say, back to like the red and black, colors. I mean, I feel like everybody wears red and black.
Yeah.
Especially when they're first starting out, because I feel like that's like the easiest gear to find.
Yes.
Because I know when I first started out, red and black.
Yeah.
But everybody wears red and black. So I'm like,
So what do you mean after 12 years and you're doing red and black? Is that a little too soon yet? Or
I'll let you know. I'll let you know.
I think the only person that should be wearing red and black, well, other than Brian, but the only person that should is because it's like his life is the Red Scorpion.
I knew you was about to say that. I knew it.
So fun fact, I saw Red Scorpion out and about and that too, and I didn't recognize him at all because he was wearing blue scrubs for work.
Oh.
I didn't recognize him at all. Like I was like, it had to be a different guy because it could not have been. There's no way he did not have a scorpified outfit. I feel like that's a part of his. Like he gets a pardon for work to wear red and black kind of thing.
He gets a percentage or something.
That's the only time he is not in red and black. Like, his car
that's
is like,
advertisement.
I've never seen
the man's got a scorpified microwave.
Exactly. You can tell me he ain't got little baby scorpions crawling up the leg of his scrubs or something. No, just the false advertisement.
But stuff like that, like those are the people that like live and breathe that persona, that gimmick and everything too, and it works for them. Like there's times like some people like that like can't shut it off. Like you got guys like BJ Walker that can't turn it off. That that's just it just keeps flowing and going and going and going.
Amen.
Good old table three. But those are the things that we talk about. Like even though we like go through, we'll poke fun at, or but they stick with us for a reason because they're different, they're unique, they are, there's something that's like, oh, you know what, like I could go through and people like when we talk to Ox Hog and stuff like that too, like I can go through and like I know his intro and stuff like that too, just because like it intrigued me and I listened to it and that too, and it's like like when I talked to Mick Foley a few years ago at a show, and he's like, you have a few seconds to gain an audience's attention, from Undertaker's gong to Austin's glass breaking. Like those are things that are iconic that like as soon as you hear it, you're like, oh, I know who it is. I know exactly who it is, and kind of thing. So
you want something that's gonna stick and be like you're saying, like damn near infamous with who you are. It associates with you. Like from entrance music and everything. And I think, to me personally, that all goes into finding like the next thing you're gonna do with your gimmick. Like, oh, I'm thinking about doing this guy who does nothing but like he's a grappler. Like, how would you put that? Like, all that has to tie into the way you dress, how you walk, your moveset, your entrance music, and all that. It all ties in.
We'll come back to this question because.
Yeah, to answer that, I was gonna say it hurts like hell. I've taken a bump in a boxing ring and it hurts like hell.
It's a car crash. It's a car crash. It's like being in a car crash.
Yeah. Well, especially when you go to a ring rental and you do these ring rentals and they go and they're like, oh, it's actually for celebrity boxing. By the way,
Yeah.
in case anybody cares, I'm 0-2 in celebrity boxing. So,
Okay. Oh, nice.
I think
You
that's where
block
my
with your
career
face a lot.
ends. I think
Star, who's gimmick? I mean, there's only 3 people that have gimmicks, but because Ricky's been retired for 5 years.
First of all, retired is crazy for 5 years. All right, I should get that out the way.
Well, hold on.
Retired for
Adrian's
5
retired.
years is crazy.
Technically, we only have 2 active wrestlers.
Yeah,
that's true.
'Cause I'm retired.
That's true. No, you're not
Temporarily.
retired. You're just tired.
That too.
Yeah.
I'm shaped like a tire. Yeah, you're right. I am shaped like a tire.
So we'll wait for Star for that, but yeah, gimmicks. Gimmicks are my first. Well, I guess I didn't really have a first gimmick because, I told the story about the Battle Royal in West Virginia, but that wasn't really a gimmick because it lasted for like an hour.
Yeah. So where'd you get the idea for Mr. Ping though? Like, where did that come from? Like when you were Jamal. Really?
You know what? I believe that. I believe that story wholeheartedly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That absolutely makes sense.
So when I was younger, Jamal always called me like Mr. Ping from Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
Like the fucking duck.
Yeah.
So after the West Virginia show, I'm like, well, that's not going to be my fucking name. So, I was like, well, what if I do like a Japanese character, do face paint and all this other shit? And, so I kind of did that. And then, from painting all the time, it was a lot of work.
Right.
Can we backtrack before we get too far from that face paint though? Like you had some really sick face paints. Like
it was intricate. It was very intricate.
Shout out to Haley for hooking you up.
Yeah.
That was
was very intricate.
You had some good intricate paint.
I think out of all of us that's on here, or out of everyone that ever went to the fort, I think I made it on Trash Bag Wrestlers the most.
Probably.
And I'm going to hold that because I did paint one time and it got fucked up. But it was last minute shit. So we had to figure something out and it kind of looked like Finn Balor shit.
Uh-huh.
But I got put on Trash Bag Wrestlers for it.
Oh my God.
It was great. I love
it. That's free publicity, man.
Yeah, it is. It is. They're like, who the hell is this? What in the world is he wearing? Who is that? And then boom, they look you up.
Yeah.
Well, it is funny because when they do stuff like that, and then all of a sudden they're like you ever see Trash Bag Wrestlers when they go through and they do they'll do a highlight reel and stuff like that of bad ones. Whoever's doing the highlight reel, kudos for them. They've got some really good video skills. It's crazy when you see it. You're like, actually, can I hire that videographer? Because they do a great job.
Are you busy this weekend?
Yeah.
So I got my shit from Jamal because as you guys know, I never wanted to wrestle.
Right.
So I didn't have plans on when I start wrestling, this is gonna be my gimmick or this is what I'm thinking because I never wanted to wrestle.
Right.
So, trying to find a gimmick was hard, but after that first name they gave me in West Virginia, I'm like, absolutely not. Because everyone that knows me knows I'm not a ray of sunshine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, why not? Why do that? But I've been talking about it. I don't know when or if I will, but there may be a gimmick change eventually.
Yeah, because this has been in the works for whole for a hot minute.
Yeah, and I want to do it, but also I'm like, I don't know.
It would be.
I would have to think of a lot to be able to pull it off.
If it's going the way that it was discussed, there's not much you need to do. It would be glorious. It would be absolutely glorious.
There was a time where Mr. Ping speaking no English.
There was a time because I hate talking, but now I'm here. I'm doing a fucking podcast.
Right.
Yeah. I was like, wait a second.
So I remember when it actually all started where I started talking in the ring. It's actually pretty funny. So, it's funny to me at least. So I was working the show in Stevens, PA. It was
Atomic
ACW.
Championship Wrestling.
It was a 6-man tag. It was me. I don't remember who the other 2 people were. And then it was the Sandman, his 2 sons.
The hell?
Were you in that match?
Yeah, I was.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Well, yeah.
Yeah, because
I don't remember who it was.
because I remember Sandman coming over to me and saying, "I'm going to tag my son in, light him up." I was like, "All right." Yep.
So
I don't know who we tagged with, but it was the 3 of us. It was 3 of us.
So in that match, you know, there was somebody there that loved to chop people at this time. I don't know if I should say his name or not, but I don't give a fuck. So Rebel was there. Rebel was sitting far in the back, behind the back row, and I chopped one of Sandman's sons. I chopped him, and I forget what he said, but he said something. And then I pulled this kid's shirt up and I back chopped him, just like Rebel used to do.
Ugh.
And I said something to Rebel. I said something to Rebel. It's like talking shit to Rebel. But then after that, I always started talking to the ring after that.
Damn.
It's crazy how like one time it just starts in that too, and that's where it goes from there.
Yeah.
You know, and it stinks when we talk about like those different things, like we talk about like Stevens and stuff like that too. Like I miss like some of those people that I only saw like at ACW and everything too. I know, you know, every now and then Tate will post on Facebook that, you know, maybe possibly, and that's like, come on, man, let's do it.
Right.
You know, it's crazy to see like all those different ones that it's like, remember when we used to wrestle here or there, and we don't do that anymore in those places.
And it's so crazy from, you know, working those shows, especially when I first started out. And, you know, I'm always thankful for people that gave me chances when I first started out, because when I first started out, Tate definitely gave me the opportunity to wrestle.
Right.
Like I was always on the shows, you know, everything. But you know, I forget what I was gonna say.
You were talking about talking.
Yeah, talking. Yeah, but no, like it's crazy because like out of all those people that we were on these shows with, like once, twice a month maybe, a lot of them don't work no more.
No.
Yeah.
No, and that is astonishing. Like, and I get it. You see the evolution. Like, okay, you've been in the business for X amount of time, and these people you kind of look at, be like, oh, well, they're gonna be around for a while, and then I don't know, whatever happens with life, you know, you turn around, you blink, and they're gone.
So sorry, this is very off topic, but I agree with what you say, Adrian. But this man right here. Ricky, I don't know if you know him or not, but Mr. Ooh La La.
Mr. Ooh La La.
I love Ooh La La. So I don't know if you guys were on the show or not. I know Ricky, you weren't, because this is way before I even met you. But I did. I think it was for Ray Torres. Adrian, I think it was before I met you too.
It might have been.
Would have been an RCW show. So
yeah.
I wrestled Mr. Ooh La La, and this man is just he loves getting people over. Like, we wrestled outside, and this man just kept telling me to chop him and chop him and chop him in the ring. Like, it was like,
yeah.
I mean, it was a fun match. I mean, it was more than just chops, but like,
right.
I mean, working Mr. Ooh, like. He's definitely, like, he helps people get over, and like he's very entertaining.
All right, so now you're on the entertaining factor in that too. So if you had to sit there and watch somebody's match, who would you sit there and watch? An indie wrestler, like who would you sit there and like, oh hey, they're getting ready to go on, I've got to watch this. It's gonna be grand. It's gonna be great. Like, you already know what you're gonna expect out of it. What's your guys' pick?
100%. If I am 100%, it would be a King Kalua or Mr. Ooh La La. And that's just not because, you know, they're watching or whatever. It's just because one, they're old school wrestlers. They
Right.
do not do anything, and their match gets over because of the psychology, and they're entertaining, and they do whatever it needs to do to get that match over.
Right.
But definitely King Kalua or Mr. Lala.
I would have to say for me, it would be any match that would be like Rob, Shane, Stefan, and Bliss, because you just know that shit's gonna go down and stuff's gonna get crazy. From like not going through a table and almost landing outside of the ring. You don't know what to expect, but to expect something really crazy. Right. So those are the ones I sit back and watch and go, "Oh, thank God it wasn't me."
Ricky, you're quiet up there. Are you
yo, man, you gotta remember, you guys have so much more time in the business than I do. So like a lot of you guys, what y'all saying, I'm just like, I like to take notes. I love to take notes because I like to process everything. I like to try to, once I, as you say, come out of retirement in a sense of a way, I like to make sure that every single step that I take inside of the business is the right step. So like I'm just taking all the stuff in and every single thing that you guys say. Okay, and it's to go off of what you guys were talking about. Who do I actually like to watch? I love to watch Stefan and Shane because I love chain wrestling. I love technical wrestling, and they have very good technical wrestling, and they also can tell very good psychology inside the ring.
Sorry, Rick.
I didn't read it. I didn't get a chance to read it.
Don't think God too fast, man.
Where's that?
Here you go.
Oh my God. So is there anybody, Ricky, that like you get excited? Like you said, Shane and Stefan because you love
Shane and Stefan. I like to watch Rob because Rob has a lot of psychology too.
Mm-hmm.
And then selling, like also when it comes back down to how Shane said, I'm starting to really, really get into old school wrestling. Like it seems like ever since I got myself into, and I even got myself into the business. Ever since I met Shane and Rob, they helped me actually get into the business. So I was like, I start really getting and like falling in love with old school wrestling. So I have to also go with Shane and say King Kalua as well. I don't really know Mr. Ooh La La like that, but definitely
you are missing out.
You are definitely missing out.
So this comment from Ooh La La right now is 100% facts because at Seven Mountains, I forget how many shows ago it was, but King Kalua and Ooh La La tagged against, I think it was Pony Express. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
And I think that has been one of the most entertaining matches I've seen in a while.
It was now it was technically sound. It was really funny to watch too.
Yes, very entertaining.
And stuff like that's the reason why fans like to come to the indie shows and stuff like that. They get so involved. They feel a part of the show and stuff like that from the little quirks, little things. And they know that, Kalua's walking out, pineapple head. You know what I mean?
Right.
They just know like Mr. Ooh La La, they know he's gonna, same thing with Bliss. When Bliss comes out, they know he's gonna scream like a little girl and stuff like that too. But that's stuff that they expect. They know what's gonna happen, but then they still find a way to swerve it a little bit so you don't know what's going on, and it keeps you entertained. And that's what it's all about. It's all about entertaining those people, but those fans that are in the seats and everything too.
Right. Yeah, like I said, like those two dudes are like if you want to get over as anything, wrestle these guys because they don't care. They will get you over and also have a very entertaining match.
Oh my God! From start to finish.
And they will take care of you like there's no tomorrow. They are really good guys.
For me, I love watching the people that make me nervous to wrestle. Like, I don't know what it is. Well, besides being tased, like, because it's always people that make you want to step your game up. Like, anybody from the fort, like you, Stefan, Rob, especially, Aaron. Like, it's always entertaining to watch. Like Joey, like, just because I know when I work you guys or when I'm working with you guys, it's always fun. It's never, it's that nervousness, like I don't want to fuck this up, but it's always really, really fun. It like I know, and it's like it's almost like a second nature almost watching Rob work and just kind of sitting back and being like, okay, oh shit, okay, I love like watching you, Brian, watching you work. It's always fun because we've worked on a lot of stuff together and we've done a lot of things together, and then that loser elbow, seeing that like being used, I'm like,
I gotta bring that back. It's been too long to lose her elbow. I gotta I missed that.
I'm still waiting on that match that got taped that should have been main event, but that's neither here nor there.
I will have to say
is that when you put me through the ring? Is that
no, we were outside this time.
Yeah.
I will have to say there are probably two other people that I love to watch. Actually, before I started wrestling, and actually when I was wrestling, and I actually got to wrestle him a couple times, and that's Banks.
Yes.
And Chris Rush.
Yeah. Oh yes. Yeah.
I think they both stopped way too early.
Yes.
And I think especially Chris Rush, he was just like Ricky. If you don't know who that is, that's Joey's brother.
He was poetry.
I feel bad because like he was one that I've heard so many things about Chris Rush. Like I missed it. I missed that time that he was there and everything too. But like even when you talk about Joey's like the smallest big guy in the room.
Yes.
He's such a huge personality. He is one that he's like, we're gonna go out here and it's gonna be great and we're gonna get better every single time. Like he's very passionate about it. He genuinely cares about what he puts out there and performs, which is great. You can't teach that. That's stuff that that's stuff that you learn and that you got to do yourself.
Very long tenure. Watching Chris Rush wrestle, he was on my list of people that I knew before I left and before I was done. I wanted to work him. I really, really wanted to work him.
Well, no matter who he was in the ring with, it was a good match.
Yes.
No matter who it was.
Yeah.
And I always liked, even that training and shit, fucking around with Chris, because we would always try to do shit on the fly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think those are definitely two people that hung it up too early. That should definitely be still wrestling.
So I got a question for you guys, right?
Yeah.
So I know we all sit back and we watch, the big show, the big show, so to speak. Now you just recently had last week where Becky Lynch went down to NXT. She won the NXT Women's title away from Tiffany Stratton. Do you think her winning that title adds?
I think they needed to bring more attention back to it.
Yeah.
So why not have somebody? Because if you think about it, it gives her a little time away from bigger, like big E picture stuff and that too. She had that hell of a cage match with Trish Stratus and stuff like that too. It's like, all right, let's end that and then bring some. I mean, because they did that with Charlotte Flair too.
Yeah.
And so like something like that, I think that's good to have that rejuvenation and stuff like that too. So it's not like, oh, it's just these people, these guys trying to get to the next stage and stuff like that too, that like they're on the same playing field. That's what I think that's what it was good on them to go through and do something different and show, yeah.
Because it gets stale after a while.
And right? It could be with NXT and everything too. It could be with going through and doing that. It's less demanding of a schedule. Mr. Ping went AWOL apparently. We
said Becky Lynch need to speak.
But I think I think it's definitely a nice. Like I think it, a little less of a schedule, probably as demanding of a schedule. So maybe that works out in her benefit that way. But
you think that kind of elevates Tiffany as well, because if you look at like the women that they have working down there, she's not been there as long as everybody, but she does kind of stand out with her abilities, the way she works, her athleticism. You could tell that she really puts in the time. Like, she kind of took Christopher Daniels' move and made her own. Like, you don't see females doing the best moonsault ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, well, this chick's got some style to her, and I really like it. What about you, Ricky? What do you think?
I'm not gonna lie to you. When it comes down to Tiffany Stratton, I haven't really seen as much of her. Only reason why is because I haven't really seen NXT in a little while.
Mhm.
I've been pretty much working nonstop, and then
Right.
once I actually did have a little bit of downtime, that's when we had the baby. So like, I really haven't really had time to really watch wrestling as much as I would like to. But everybody that you guys are pretty much saying, like the names as well, I'm also like thinking about. So once I actually start like trying to get back in the swing of things, I was like, okay, I gotta check this person out. You guys
Right.
say this person is kind of decent. All right, this person is kind of nice. Okay, I'm gonna start taking everybody and start putting them inside of consideration as well, because I want to simply not only just look at the best people. I want to look at the mid-card people. I want to look at the people that actually start the show too, because I want to
There's
kind of like. I'm sorry, what was that?
No, I was going to say there's a few people who are in NXT that kind of catch your eye. There's a couple of people there that you can look at and be like, oh, he's gonna get called up real soon. Like the one I really enjoy watching, outside of like a few people is that can't even say his name right. Like Ilya, the Russian guy with the slick back. Yeah, he is good. He is head and shoulders above a lot of those guys there, like head and shoulders.
What's his name?
Oh, gotcha.
Like Ilya, Dragon. It's something like he's the drag. He kind of comes out.
Dragunov or something like that.
Yeah, Dragon Officer. Yeah, he is
I
good.
think they're talking about. I think I know you're talking about.
He is good. He is really good. He's very technical. Very, very technical.
I might write that one down. Yeah, Dragon, no.
No, and guys like that and that too, it's really nice to go through and watch them and see like those guys that, like you say, that because if you figure you're a writer for the E and stuff like that too, like you gotta constantly be looking for that next it thing, that next person, that next, and there's so much good talent out there.
Right.
And a lot of people go through and they're like, oh man, they're making these cuts in WWE and stuff like that too. But if you really break it down to a lot of those people that they cut, it's like, when's the last time you saw them wrestle? And they're like,
Yeah.
Oh, it's like, yeah. So, they're sitting on payroll and stuff like that too. You got
What were they doing?
What's her name from AEW that just showed up at the Performance Training Center and that too?
The car girl or something like that.
Yeah.
Jade or whatever. Yeah, she's good. Don't get me wrong, but I think this will make her a lot better.
Yeah,
because if you look at the people that they have there, they don't have the deepest pool of talent. You know what I mean? They don't have like the same talent roster as the E does, and even though AEW is getting really bad to watch, let's face it,
Is it?
It's getting bad. It's getting bad. My personal opinion, it's getting bad. It's
and there's something read in that too, that AEW just possibly signed something with like HBO Max and everything for the pay-per-views and stuff like that. So,
oh god.
And for them that might be a little boost they need kind of thing, but I mean, you have so many changes, but that's the first company I feel like that's like since WCW days, this is the first one that's given a true competition in a sense to actually compete with it. How do you compete with like the biggest conglomerate in the world?
It's in the beginning, like I would have been 100% behind you and saying like, yo, they're really doing some stuff here. But like as of lately, when you watch, it's I don't know if it's the camera angles that they're using, the production people that they're using, the way stuff is being written. Like they are a lot of stuff is being like broadcast that you wouldn't normally see anywhere else. Like a guy throwing shots and he's not connecting, and it's obvious he's not connecting, and the camera's sitting on him like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, and those are those guys that like I feel they should be very crisp with it. They do it day in day out, like they eat, sleep, breathe it, and And then when push comes to shove, it's like, especially when they go through and they put all their eggs in one basket and they're like, we're gonna put all this money, CM Punk. We're gonna put all this money in Punk. We're gonna push him kind of thing and give him this, and then ultimately it didn't work out, kind of thing. It's, when you put all their eggs in one basket and they go through and put all that money towards somebody and then it doesn't work. So
yeah, exactly. Speaking of,
there he is. Hey,
there he is.
There's the host of the show.
What a
He had to wait for McDonald's to open up so he could get on their Wi-Fi again.
That's what it was.
no. So what happened was my I had my computer plugged in and it fucking died. So I don't know how.
Well, that means everybody had an issue today, so we're good. So
yeah.
we
so
were
it's even. Nobody can talk shit about anybody.
Yeah.
So we'll let it go.
We were talking about where AEW is going, the talent we have, the women's title change in NXT. Just your thoughts on it. Do you think that was the right move to go through and have, Becky go back to NXT and win the title? We thought it'd help, might help rejuvenate that. They need that little kick up again and everything too. I mean, there's got to be reasons too. Like you got like guys like Steiner's son. You got Braun Breaker in that too. Like, why hasn't he gotten? Usually, historically, you lose the NXT title, you get bumped up.
Right.
Kind of usually what it's happened, and like he lost it, and he's still hanging around there. So like, I think it's one of those that and that's what's got to be tough if you're second, third generation and that too, and they hold you to that category, they hold you to that standard, especially if they were an ace in the hole before, and it's like you're not kind of where your dad was, and it's like, well, that sucks.
Braun Breaker is absolutely amazing until he gets on the microphone.
Yeah.
Then he sounds like his uncle.
Yeah.
It's like he is
33% chance.
Like what? What did he say? Yeah. What? No, stop it. Please don't talk. You need a mouthpiece.
And that's where and when we talk about, even with like indies and stuff like that too, like a lot of the promoters that a lot of us wrestle for and everything too do a good job of listening to what the fans want, listening to what the fans are looking for, and not giving that to them right then, having it work towards and everything too. But like it's such a good payoff, and you can tell when they they do it the right time, the right It works out well, but that's that investment in that too. And you have that person that, hey, you know what? You could have been wrestling for only 6 months, but you were like an ace in the hole. You're polite. You sit down. You shut up. You've got good talent, good ring work. You don't look like a garbage bag wrestler kind of thing.
Right.
Leave the jean shorts to Cena.
Yeah.
But then you have guys that go through and they do a good job like that, and it's like, and they get that recognized, and they capitalize on it, and they do it at a good time because
Absolutely.
WWE, I feel like they're slowly dropping it a little bit with LA Knight, an LA Knight kind of guy. He is over as all get out and everything too, and I feel like they're gonna draw it out too long that he's gonna filter out, or he's gonna phase out, or it's gonna be like, hey, you get to we'll have you we'll bring the 24/7 title back. You can have that.
Right.
Kind of thing.
They have a tendency to do that with a lot of their big attractions too. And hate to bring it up, but when the Fiend was running wild, the Fiend was the biggest attraction that they had, and they just were
drew it out way too long, too long.
He should have not dropped the title as fast as he dropped the title. He shouldn't have gotten the title when he got the title. He should have really let him do damage until
showcase what he can do, what he's all about, and everything. Absolutely.
Yeah, until it got to him and Roman. You know what
I mean? I like Gunther. I think this whole Reigns Intercontinental title and that too, I think is fantastic. I like it, but it's one of those like, you put him and Roman in that same category. It's like who dethrones. Dethrones. Yeah. But then The Rock came back on SmackDown.
That
was actually kind of a
tendency.
I went to. I would have been a little happier there, but
Yeah.
I think he was coming to Pennsylvania because
because he was like, "Shut your bitch ass up."
I think I was there when He returned the one time.
You know, because you'd go deaf from the crowd reacting.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
What
And
are you
like
talking about? I get a bigger pop than The Rock.
Yeah. You get a 60 ounce, and he gets a 16 ounce.
And then you have people that like I've wrestled with, against, and for, and stuff like that too. That like their music hits and it can play for a minute, and that is just like they are getting booed out of the building. They're like, I don't even have to. Yeah, I don't even have to. You look at Truth Serum. The second they're like, no, get these guys out of here. And you guys don't even have to go out for you can let that song play for an hour and a half and they'll still be booing the whole time. Like but that means you've done well, you've done what you've needed to do. And good God Almighty, you guys need like bulletproof vests sometimes, because I'm a little worried for y'all sometimes. So
exactly. Like, dude, that was one of my favorite moments when it comes to, like, when your music gets you a pop. It's a warming feeling. Like when I brought Prince Shango back. Nobody knew he was coming back. Nobody knew Prince Shango was coming back, whatever. And the moment my music hit, the crowd goes nuts. They're going nuts, and I'm like, oh shit. I'm supposed to be a heel.
And you have that, but again, also on the flip side, when we talk about music, and you've got guys that like, hey, something happened, I've ran sound, Shane's ran sound, Adrian, you've ran sound, and that too. That stuff happens. You could have it queued up, ready to go, loaded, and all of a sudden it's like just getting its buffering, and it ain't working. And those guys that go through and they're, I've been at shows where guys are like, no, I'm gonna wait for my music. I'm gonna wait for it. It's like it might not come. You have other guys. I don't need music, and if you don't need music to get over, that's an added bonus to it and everything too. But definitely, if you can walk out with no music, hated, cheered, whatever it is, that's you're doing the right thing. You've done it. You've captured the audience. You've captured what you need to do and everything too.
There's been a couple times where I think I was on a show with you where there was no music. They were like, all right, we need you, just go out there and you guys work. And it's like, all right, cool, no problem.
I was at a show. Somebody's getting ready to go out, and Bliss's laptop shut down.
Yeah.
Literally shut. Like I don't know what. I'm like, hey, gotta keep rolling, gotta keep going, kind of thing. But that's where and that's where especially as a heel in that too. That's where thinking in the moment, seeing what's going on and everything too. I've gone out into matches where I was the heel and the guy I was facing was a face. I came out, they booed the living hell out of him. They cheered me because they hated him more. I'm like, hey, we're going to switch this up a little bit, because otherwise, if we do it the way we were planning on it, the crowd's not going to like it. They're not going to give two shits. They hate you. They don't want to smile or cheer for you just because you want to be a face. It's like sometimes you got to switch it up. And there's some guys that don't know how to do that. They don't know how to change that, flip that switch and everything too. It's not easy. Being at Rob's school, and we'll be training in that too, and we'll have something ready to go, and we're training and practicing. Like
he was like, all right,
flip the roles.
Switch them. What's the best part? Have him do that to you during a match.
Yeah.
Have him do that. The entrance done come out, and you guys are in the ring, and you're like, all right, ready to go. You got the whole thing set up in your head, and the ref comes over like, hey, Rob said y'all need to switch. What are we switching?
You see him smiling ear to ear from the other side. He's like,
yes.
You're like,
it's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. But those are things that, it's just, and that's where a lot of guys need to learn how to adapt, learn how to go through and play that gimmick and be that gimmick and change it, but also being versatile. You might go to a show where they're like, oh, we need another face. Well, I only work heel. All right. Well, they missed opportunity. A lot of guys, a lot of things are opportunities. I got a chance to wrestle for the traditional title because Jamal got hurt. I was just happened to be there. I was there for a different match, and things get changed around and stuff like that too. Like there's things that happen that you have to adapt to. And if you can't adapt to it, then, you're going to narrow down what you can do. So
that's why it's good to have a lot of ideas in the chamber. Like, training is important because you get taught stuff like this. You get taught to be able to kind of like morph into a different gimmick when you need to, because you've trained you know, both sides of a gimmick. You know what I mean? Like to me, it's just like it's a part of being a worker.
Yeah. So, like, to kind of go off of that, then I got a
Holy
question
shit,
for
he's
y'all.
talking.
I got a question for y'all. So when it comes down to my question, for somebody that's like never stepped in stepped in a ring a day in their life, what would you say to them to prepare for that lifestyle of wrestling, stamina inside the ring, conditioning, and the mindset of wrestling? What would you say to them?
Shut up and listen.
So first conversation, like first day of training, not show day training. I see a lot of that too.
Yeah. Oh my god.
But you gotta invest. You got to believe in yourself. If you're quick to quit at something, it's not for you. We are a band full of misfits. We are not all right up in the head and everything too. So I would say, you know, going through and, you know, for anything you've thought about and everything too, like, oh, I could do that. It's, you know, it's not gonna be easy. It's not easy. If it was easy, then wrestlers would be, you know, a trillion, you know, in the central PA area kind of thing. There's a reason why there's not. There's a reason why there's some guys that try it out. They could be doing it for a year, 4 years, 5 years, and they're like, I can't do this, man. My body, it does take a toll on your body. You know, we're anybody who says like I ain't sore after a match and everything,
it's a fucking lie.
You're a liar.
Fucking lie. Everything hurts. Running the ropes hurt. Like everything hurts.
Getting hit with a
be
stick.
Prepared to sacrifice. If you're not willing to sacrifice, don't do it. Don't do it. Like, just walk away right now, because if you're going to be dedicated to doing this, you got to be prepared to miss a birthday, to miss a Christmas party, you know, to miss a little league game, because, you know, this business requires like unconditional dedication. Like, there is no wavering back. Maybe no. If you're not willing to be like, I'm in this 100% no matter what, and you know, you get days and dates like in advance. You get all that stuff ahead of time. And if you're like a week before, like, don't show up. Don't show up. Because you're gonna get somebody hurt.
Sometimes you get last minute shit.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. It happens. I'm not saying it doesn't.
But it's also how you go through, like, put yourselves in the shoes of a booker and stuff like that too. You know, same thing for your full-time job and everything too. You just don't show up and you're like, they assume that I'm sick. Like, no, courtesy of a phone call, a text. And if somebody goes through, I know Rob very well on this one. You know, if he messages you, do not ghost him. For the love of God, do not ghost that man, because you're not going to like the end result. He's one that if you're saying, hey, you know, I'm not feeling well, my head's not right today, you know, I don't feel like I could be really safe in that too, he'll pardon you 1,000 times over. If you just ghost him, don't show up, and don't answer his messages or his phone calls,
you're gonna be dead or in jail.
Yeah, you're gonna hope that you're, you know, the lesser of the two evils. But I mean, but it's that common courtesy, because he would do that same thing for you. He would do that. Tate would do that. Mark Mess would do that. You know, any of these guys that we've wrestled for in that too, that's all they ask for. Just that common courtesy goes a long way.
It's a sign of respect. Like, that's what it boils down to. Respect. You got to respect the people that you're working for. You got to respect yourself. You got to respect the business. And if you can't do any of those things on a consistent basis, again, don't show up. If you don't take the time to dedicate yourself and respect the people that are trying to teach you stuff, respect the people that you work with, like, again, you're going to put yourself in a position where you're going to get hurt, or you're going to get somebody else hurt, which in turn, if you're being sloppy and not doing the stuff that you're supposed to do, you're going to end up getting hurt, because somebody's going to take offense to you coming in and, you know, hurting somebody because you felt like you wanted to play wrestler that day.
Yeah. And to kind of add on to that question, I know we got a little bit of time left over here, so I'm going to try to make this one quick. So to kind of add on to that question, stamina-wise, is there anything, because everybody knows that stepped in that ring before, that cardio outside the ring is much different than cardio inside the ring. So what
Oh,
can people
Lord,
do to actually
yes.
prepare themselves for cardio inside the ring? Like, what can they do to try to prepare? Just train?
Train.
Yeah, train because then you get used to it. You know, Shane and I, our cardio is good when we go to the buffet line, but
Or
you know,
sushi
when
heaven.
oh man, Ooh. We should get sponsored by sushi.
Don't remind me. Don't remind me.
But it's definitely cardio inside the ring is way different. You got guys that like go to the gym lifting weights, they're great physical condition. They go to start running the ropes, they are gassed real quick, and that too. You know, and then you have other guys like, you know, people don't give like Jamal credit where it's due. Jamal's a big dude, but he can move.
Yeah.
He can move. You know, a lot of those guys that really impress you in that too, that a lot of people are like, oh, they can't do much. And then they're running sometimes he's running circles around other guys that are in like you know, top
shape. Yeah.
physical peak condition thing, you know, just because it definitely in ring shape is way different. You don't go to training too. I'll be a first to testimony to that. You know, I did go to training for a while. The first time I went back to training, I thought I was going to die because it was just like I was not used to it again. And it, you know, but you get used to it as long as you make that equipment. You know, like Adrian said, make that commitment, be invested. You got to do it. You know, don't half it. Don't say like, oh, well, maybe I should. Like, yes or no, do it or don't. You know what I mean?
Do it or don't. The way you okay, so it's kind of like this. Like when you're out free running or you're on a treadmill, you breathe differently. You're like taking in breaths and you're relaxing. When you're in a ring and you're hitting stuff, automatically your body's designed to exhale because it's trying to absorb that shock. So you hit the ropes, you exhale, bump, you exhale. Like, because if you're holding that in, it's gonna hurt. So it's like retraining your brain and your body to once you step in the ring, okay, so I have to take really quick breaths and kind of learn to hold on to them and go from the most part, because you got to think like, you know, you're making noise when you make a strike. That's an exhale. You're talking to the fans. You're exhaling. You're talking to the guy you're working in the ring. You're exhaling. So every move, everything that you're doing, you have to take a breath in between. So it's a completely different animal. That's why I adamantly say.
And then you're throwing a building with no AC, no fans, no airflow. You know, you throw that in there, all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's hard to breathe. Well, this sucks.
Yeah.
You know.
And then you fall through the ring.
No, you're blessed. You roll under the ring and you throw up under the ring. You know, but it's definitely a whole different animal.
Yeah. Animal. Whole different animal.
Definitely. Well, guys, this has come to an end again.
That was fast.
It was.
Yeah. So many technical difficulties.
Want to thank everybody who got on. I know a bunch of people were saying hi in the chat and everything too.
Yeah.
Appreciate everybody getting on.
Somebody mentioned Crab Ringo. Appreciate you.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Remember, guys, coming up, Brian will be at SSW.
Yep. Order 66 returns to SSW.
Hell yeah. And then next up will be October 7th, a memorial show for Dr. Paul Williams.
Yes, sir. Great man.
And then next up on my schedule will be PPCW October 21st in West Manchester.
Look at him front and center with the red. He got the red and black paint stuff on his face. It's so punky. I love it.
So bad.
I ain't seen that promo picture in like 900 years.
All right, guys.
All right, later.
Later.
Sounds good. Thank you, everybody.